Hello everybody. Today we are going to be learning how you can build your own daily journaling system using Notion, complete with their new AI features with these AI properties that you can custom autofill to essentially be anything that you want. This is going to be the final product where we can just tap this button. It will open this page up. It's given you a set of prompts that you're going to answer, and it will obviously give you feedback from the different perspectives of these figures, and these can be whoever you want to be. These are just some of my favorite thought leaders and philosophers, but it's really up to you on about what you want to do with this. But it's a very simple template. You just come down here, and again, these are also customizable to be whatever it is you want to be. These are just the prompts that I use every day. And then when you're done, you can click complete. It'll bring you back to the home page. It's marked complete, and we can see a full history of all of your journals. So you always have a record, and you can always go back and look at what you said. So let's get into it. So we are going to start off with a blank page, and if this isn't blank enough for you, we can really start off with a blank page. We're just going to call this Daily Journal with AI, and we are going to I make a divider here. It's mainly just a personal choice, but the first thing we're going to do is space down a couple, add a toggle into here, and we're going to call this the back end. We're going to open up the back end, and we're going to create a page. Inside this page is going to be a daily journal, and I'm going to add these brackets in here that specify that this database is for a YouTube video. You don't have to do this. It's strictly something I'm doing to keep my databases organized. So now that that's aside, we're going to start creating the properties of our daily journaling database. The first property we're going to create is the complete property. I'm going to label this with a checkmark icon and edit the property so that it is a checkbox. Next, we are going to create a created time property, and this will be very important for all of our filterings, as you will see later. And then the next properties are going to be the AI custom autofill properties, and inside of here is how we're going to have the AI analyze what we've said in our journal entry and give us feedback based upon that. So obviously I have 3 set up, and we are going to do Hormozi, which is Alex Hormozi. If you don't know, one of my favorite thought leaders, especially in the business and entrepreneur industry. And I'm going to just duplicate these to speed up time. I'm going to change this to Socrates, change this to Nietzsche, but I always have a difficult time spelling his last name, so I'm just going to look to be sure. Nietzsche. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how are we going to make this talk with the page that it's our journal entry from? And the prompt that I use for this is basically, it's like you're talking to a very intelligent assistant, but it can't do anything that you don't tell it to. So I'm going to start by saying, you are Alex Hormozi, author of $100 million offers and founder of acquisition.com and Gym Watch. And I'm going to put in my name here, but obviously you can put in your name if you want it to speak to you, which I like. It creates this very personal touch to it, but that's again another personal choice. Your task is to analyze the journal entry on this Notion page and give me a constructive feedback that directly relates to the content found in this Notion page. Your answer should be no more than 4 to 5 sentences. Your output should speak directly to me as if you are Alex Hormozi and fully embody his values. So this is the framework that I use for these prompts. I've had great success with this and giving me some very constructive feedback based on my journal entries, often from the perspective of the values of these people that we are ascribing these properties to. Now, given this is AI, it's not perfect. It's not going to know the nuance of values, specifically that these individuals hold. You can make this better by making the prompt better. Obviously, I'm not making it incredibly specific because I don't feel a general need to. If I wanted a more analyzed journal entry with higher perspective from their specific values, I would obviously edit this part of the prompt here and give the AI more detail about Alex Hormozi and his values. So if you're looking for more constructive feedback on your daily journals from AI, this is the part of the prompt you're going to want to enter and give it more context about Alex's specific values. But we are going to copy this because a lot of this is going to be the same. Obviously, this bottom three is going to be very similar. And we are going to paste this in here. And I'm going to delete this. I'm going to say you're Socrates, the world renowned and late philosopher. As you can see, I'm not giving it specific details on Socrates' values, as I believe a lot of these are going to be inside the AI's training model, the set of data. So it can pull that information on what it thinks is his values. Where I think it's going to be less detailed is when you don't specifically tell the AI what these values are. And if you want to do that, you'll get better results. But for the sake of this, you can see how the framework works, and then you can modify it however you'd like after. Right. And then for the Nietzsche, it's going to be even more similar to the Socrates one, where I'm just going to swap the name, but it will give me different, different perspectives because I'm asking it to assimilate itself with the persona that I'm telling it that it is. So it will inherently assume that the advice it's giving me is from the perspective of them. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, and it will get better and better as Notion upgrades its AI models and whatever it's running. I believe they're moving towards ChatGPT 4.0, but that has yet to be seen in the properties aspect of this. So now that we have these AI properties and database set up, we are ready to move on with the front end of the template. And that's going to be one of the easier parts of this system. So the first thing I'm going to do, sorry, if you see me looking up, it's because I have the completed version right above me, so I can follow along and don't have to make up these prompts on the fly to keep this more concise as possible for you guys. But let's continue. So the first thing we are going to do is come here, create a button. We're going to call this New Daily Journal. We're going to add a plus icon right here. I'm going to make this purple just because I want to have the same continuity as the rest of the template. We're going to add page to the journal right here. Actually, I believed I named it Daily Journal in this specific example, Daily Journal YT right there. And we're also going to click on open page. We're going to open the new page we added into a full page view. And double check, we can see this is the data, and you always want to be sure that that's what you're doing when you're creating a new page. It might cause some confusion if you're not double checking. So I'm also going to drag this block over to create two columns and create this linked view is going to be the Daily Journal U2 database that we just created. I'm going to hide the database tile. I'm also going to this view of the table, and I'm going to, with today, I'm going to give it a sun icon because I feel like that symbolizes today. I'm also going to change the layout of this to a gallery. We are going to hide page content. I'm going to make this small, and I want it to open in full page. One more thing is I want to also show the complete property inside of here. I'm going to get rid of these empty pages. I'm also going to throw a filter on this so that the created time is always today. So I go to advanced filter, created time is today. So now this view is only going to show the journal entries that you have done today. I'm going to create a divider right here, and this is where we're going to create the history. So if I add a back, we get this nice flock. I'm going to change this color to be default just so it has some continuity. Add this in here. I'm going to be saying this is daily journal history. Then add a divider for some aesthetic. Add in this linked view, and this is going to be the daily journal YouTube. There we go. We're going to hide this, and we are also going to rename this to past week. So I'm also going to hide the AI properties because I believe those are only useful when you're opening up a specific journal entry so you can see the content that it is referring to. Otherwise, you're going to just be seeing a ton of AI perspectives on these journal entries that you might not know what it's referring to, so I don't think it's incredibly useful to show them right there. But it is useful to see what day that you were writing. You can change the title of them, and we're going to get into that in a minute. We're just setting up the front end here. And we're going to add a filter that is created time. We're going to go to advanced filter here. We're going to select created time is on or after 1 week ago. That way this shows everything that was created 1 week ago up until now. So it is the past week. We're going to duplicate this view and change this to past month. Now it's very easy to create this view. We're just going to switch the 1 week ago to 1 month ago. Now we are going to duplicate this one more time, but this time we're going to make this the all journals page where it has no discrepancy on how far it's filtering. It's just going to show all journals. Something I also like to do that is a personal preference of mine, I'm going to add a sort from the created time. So this way all journal entries are sorted by the most recent is at the top. And you can do this on the first one, the first view that you create, past week. And then when you do that, it will show up for all of the other views. I'm just doing this over again now so you can see exactly that it's the same every time and it does the same practice, the same function. So now we are very close to what you saw when we created it. The last thing we want to do here is there's going to be 2 steps. Is we're going to want to create the template for the actual daily journaling itself, because when we open this up, this isn't a great place to start daily journaling. It kind of looks messy. You might be confused. You're going to see these properties, and we just want to make things much more seamless. So we're going to hide this. We're going to hide the created time, and we're only going to show these AI properties because that's what we're going to be reviewing and why we want AI to analyze our daily journals in the first place. Because when you have AI, at least for me, analyze your daily journals, it provides a level of perspective that you just don't get very often from other people. Especially when you're talking about very personal things, as you would be in daily journals or a diary, so to speak. It just makes it easier to get outside of your own head. And that's one of the main proponents of me advocating for thinking that everybody should daily journal. And that's why I'm bringing this video to and providing this free template. So we're going to change the title to At Today and Journal. You can change this to whatever it is that you would like when you write your journal, if you want it to be very specific to the content of the journal so it's easier to refer to later. For now, I'm just putting this in here, and you can change that however you'd like. And then we're going to add the prompts. So some of the prompts that I always use is what's on your mind today? And I like adding the light bulb. And then we're also going to give ourselves space to type. Give myself 3 blanks, and obviously it will expand as you begin typing, so you're not limited by that. And I'm going to say, what is something you can do to be 1% better? I think it's always an important question that I find myself asking every day. Obviously, it's dependent on me and my values. However, you can tailor this and these questions to be anything that is more relevant to you. Sorry, I'm just making the page full page here. It makes it a little bit easier to edit in. We're going to add that divider to aesthetics. Get rid of this. And one more I do is a nightly written. So we're going to add a icon that symbolizes night. I think that'll do pretty good there. Add in the did one more time, some space. And one more. There we go, now they're all even. And so the last part of this template we're going to do here is we're going to create 3 columns. And in the middle, we're going to create a button. And this button will be complete. We're going to make that a check mark that symbolizes complete. And the action is going to be setting the property. It's editing the property inside this page specifically to complete. And then once we click that, we want us to open up in the full page, the page we were just at, which is the Daily Journaling with AI, which is this page. Awesome. So now if we come back, and this is going to take us into the breadcrumbs, which is this back end, we can come back out to here, add an icon for this page. Obviously, these things aren't incredibly necessary. I just think they're aesthetically pleasing, and I try to add in aesthetics when I can. I focus primarily for utility. However, I think aesthetics are important. So I think if what you're building isn't pretty to you, then you're not going to want to come back and use it. So one more thing here before I do that, I want to show you how to do this. Inside this data, click on this drop down. It's going to be 3 dots. I'm going to click edit, change this to a writing icon, and now we're good to go. So now that we've finished completing this journal, we're going to test it out. Click Daily Journal. It is going to populate the new page we just created. We can click on the at of our prompts in here and the button. So to test this out, I can say I ate 26 goldfish today and I'm scared they're swimming in my stomach, hatching more goldfish. This is obviously a very absurd example, but I want to do that to show you that when I ask AI to analyze it, it's going to be like, wow, you ate 20 goldfish. So it is analyzing the specific content and directly relating its advice to what you're going through. So just an example of how it works. And when we're done here, we can click complete. It's going to bring us back to the home page and mark this as complete. One more small pro tip I'm going to add is we're going to make this the default page, the template for all views. So whenever we create a new journal, it's going to automatically populate with this template so we can get to journaling quicker. The one thing this is going to do that you might not be a fan of is get rid of the title. However, if you're naming this something that's relevant to the journal that you're writing, it's not going to matter. But if you don't want to think of a title every time, I just do at today because it very clearly shows you the day you did it. And you can go and review it later. But that's what I have for now. And if you like this, you want to see more videos, building a Notion system or custom GPTs, prompt engineering, whatever it might be, let me know in the comments, and I am going to be making more of these. So subscribe, stick around if you want to see more of these, get more free templates, and learn how to build better systems in Notion, especially incorporating AI, which is something I love to do. So that's all I have for today, and I'll see you guys in the next